known for massive brown bears that hopefully won't eat me while I'm down there.
Recording in progress. Cool.
Probably just the challenging aspect of it.
I mean, I can't say much because I shoot a crossbow.
Yeah, come on, guys.
So, today we got Justin on our first episode of the podcast. Go ahead. He's my cousin, but go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Justin. I'm 26 years old now. Live in Minnesota, and it's pretty much where I do most of my hunting.
You're a big whitetail guy, generally.
Yeah.
What do you prefer, archery or like gun hunting?
I like bow hunting more, but I've yet to take an animal with my bow yet.
Yeah,
and I just started getting serious with bow hunting a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I heard you had a little mishap this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What was it?
So one way or another, somehow my arrows end up getting cut a little too short. So that being said, when I drew back on a pretty nice 8-pointer, it hit the arrow rest and it came off the knot came off the string. So I was sitting there fully drawn back with a ghost arrow. Yeah, free and then yeah, I don't know. It's that was pretty frustrating.
God, I can't imagine. I mean, I can't say much because I shoot a crossbow because I can't pull anything back with this my left shoulder because I'm left-eye dominant. I had to switch from right to left-handed, and it was a huge learning curve. But I cheat with the crossbow. But I've definitely done that once or twice before, where I've just watched the arrow just and fall down. And I'm like, well, this sucks.
Oops.
Well,
No kidding. It was cool though. That was the first time I ever rattled in a buck before. And this year I tried a few new strategies. I was actually hunting next to a pretty active scrape. And I got to the stand around 3:00 and it was probably around 5:00. Nothing was moving. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just try rattling. And sure enough, as soon as I start rattling, I hear something from like 70 yards come at me like a freight train. It was during the lockdown period, so this buck had a doe with him and came right to the scrape, pretty much right by me, and then that's when I drew back and my arrow fell off my bow.
Didn't it happen?
So have you noticed like where you're hunting at there in Minnesota? Was it a up year or a down year? Like, did you see more deer this year compared to last year, or did you see less?
It's hard to say. I hunted a new property this year, so I saw more deer this year, but most of the deer I saw were probably anywhere from like 100 to 300 yards out, so not in bow range.
Huh. Do you think something caused that? Like, was it like a colder year or something? I think you just set up in the wrong spot, I guess. Well, not really, since you had that big buck come right up.
Hard to say, just hunting two different areas. It's this is my first year hunting that area, so I can't really base anything off of anything previous. So
Right. Fair enough. So what do you look for when you like set up your stands? Like what's some of the main things that you look for like early season, like right before preseason stuff, I guess?
Early season, I'm just looking for food sources. Food sources is the big one, and then finding active trails going to the food source. That's probably my biggest strategy for early season. Then once it starts getting to late season, I try to find active scrapes, rubs, all that, and then I kind of base where I'm gonna sit off of that.
What's this place like? Is it like a big farm, or is it more like brush and just trees and swamp, or like what kind of?
The property I'm hunting now, it's a large majority of it is soybeans and cornfields with a little bit of woods in it and a stream running through it. it's pretty thick where I'm hunting, and then it does transition into a little bit of swamp on the further side of the property. So it's all nice hardwoods, I'd say, for the most part, as far as like the wooded portion goes.
Yeah. You might want to look down by that river or that stream.
Yeah, that's actually where I found that scrape that I was hunting by. Because they'd cross that stream a lot and go on to the other part of the property from there. Big crossing point.
So
I mean,
what are you gonna get into now that obviously season's over there in Minnesota? Like, are you gonna get out and ice fish, or you can go over see Ling and get him out to work sometime, or just
Well,
gonna kind of hold out till next fall?
Yeah, me and I don't know, Lane, have you mentioned anything about our big trip coming up here within the next year?
oh yeah, that's all I've been talking about with anybody I know.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
me and Lane are going to South Africa to go hunt impalas and then whatever else we decide that we want to try to hunt over there.
And that greater kudu, man, stuck on it.
Yeah, the kudu that's a really awesome animal.
And when are you ever going to get a chance to hunt one again? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about the emperor goose. Like, it's literally like the once in a lifetime bird to get out and go for, and that's my goal next year.
we're high tech in these parts. The red class. Yeah, but Justin, question I had, because I've been archery hunting for a lot longer than you, but I was never, I guess, as into it as you are. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You really dove into it this year. So, like, what made it like this is something I really want to do? Like, what drew you to it initially?
probably just the challenging aspect of it. I mean, really anyone can kind of go, out shoot a gun, but it takes a more skill, in my opinion, to be able to, close in that distance with the animal and, get a shot off. That and I kind of like the primal aspect of it, just more fair game, I think.
Oh,
Level up field between the prey and the hunter. That's what I like about it.
I'd agree. I mean, I always loved the idea of bow hunting, but I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm just an impatient person, which I don't know. Everybody knows that about me. I'm impatient as all hell. I love waterfowl. I like action. I love upland hunting. I do love bow hunting, and I think I like the fact that it does level the playing field, and that's kind of why I'm into it. But it's also why I have my Matthew solo cam that I've had since I was 15, because I go out, I do all the setup, I see bucks. I sent you guys both pictures of bucks all season, and
yeah,
never got to sit one time in my stand, never once.
yeah, I would agree too. Like, kind of what you were saying, Justin. Like, anyone can shoot a gun. I mean, granted, for a whitetail, like, yeah, anyone can shoot a gun. If you get out and you're doing like those crazy like mule deer, elk, caribou, moose hunts, like, yeah, I'm not gonna go try it with a bow. That just sounds awful. But yeah, that's one thing I can say is like I miss actually bow hunting because I used to have like a compound bow, and then when I found out my eyes were all messed up and shoulder injuries, and I had to move to the crossbow, like I said, I feel like it's cheating because it's like, yeah, I'm pretty much pulling a trigger at that point, just like a gun, but it is fun to at least get out.
Yeah,
It does. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I like about bow hunting the most is just getting out early season too. I mean, you're not having 1,000 layers on because it's not freezing cold yet, and there's still vegetation and all that. That's what I like about bow hunting too a lot.
Yeah. Does Minnesota do they just I don't want to say discriminate because that'd be bad, but do they have a different season for crossbows? Because I know New York did when I was there.
Yeah, no. So in Minnesota, you can only use a crossbow if you're at a certain age, which I don't remember what that age is, or if you have a disability that prevents drawing back a normal compound bow. So that's but it's still, there's not a separate season. It's just archery.
That's all right, Brandon. You still qualify for the disability.
I think I still got a few years, but we'll see how that goes.
So what's a must have in your bag when you're, or maybe even you've learned that you needed, like in the stand didn't have it, and now you have it. Now it's essential.
That's a good question. Honestly, there's been a few times where I completely forgot to bring like any water or anything. And and I mean, I got a pretty long walk too, so there's been a few times where completely forgot to bring water, and you're sitting up there just completely dehydrated, sitting there for a few hours, especially early season. So I would say water is probably the most important thing, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
To that too is, oh, go ahead. You can finish the thought, man.
yeah, and I guess the close second would be a rangefinder because I've also done that before too. Especially if you're hunting at, like on the edge of a field or something, the distance can be pretty hard to gauge if you don't have a rangefinder. It can be deceiving. So rangefinder and water all the time.
Man, I'm in the same boat. I was well, I've got really bad depth perception. I've got like perfect vision, better than perfect vision. My depth perception is terrible. And Brandon can tell you that from duck hunting with me. Sometimes I'm like, that bird's right there, and they're like 70, 75 years away. But yeah, rangefinder's huge. Another one that I think is huge, because I know when I don't have it, because I've missed the biggest buck of my life, which granted wasn't huge. It was an 8-pointer, but he gets bigger every year because I think I was 14 when this happened, and I'll never do this again. I was learning how to bow hunt, and I didn't bring a face mask one day. And that buck, I set my stand up because, my dad and my grandpa always like figure it out, remember up by Lily?
Yeah.
You go down in that field, and I had that little one on the corner as soon as you drove past it, really easy to walk to because I was lazy, just like I am still today. Yeah, it didn't have a face mask. That sun hit me right in the face, and that deer picked me out like nothing. So I'll never ever go archery hunting without a face mask ever again. That'd be like one of mine things.
Or paint your face.
Or that.
I don't know. I never used a rangefinder growing up just because, I mean, all the spots I hunted growing up, like they had been hunted for decades. So every tree had notch. So you knew how far you could shoot. My big one was like hooks to hang stuff. Like have the little screw-in hooks for the tree so you can hang a bag or you can hang your bow up just because, especially if you get out there and you're doing like an all-day sit, having a bow on your lap or a gun or a bag after a while gets really annoying, especially if you're trying to stand up and stretch and look around and try to get like a different viewpoint of what's like around the area.
I dig it.
Yeah. So, Justin, outside of obviously this Africa hunt you guys are going on, what is your dream hunt and where is it?
Ooh, that's a good one. Dream hunt? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I want to go hunt. I think right now, besides going to Africa, what I really want to do is get an elk. That's probably the top of my list is an elk. Whether that be Colorado, Montana, wherever. But yeah, I want to give elk hunting a go.
You got a lot to learn about elk hunting because
Oh,
had my freaking bell rung when I started to. I got something popped up in the middle of the screen. I had my bell rung when Dustin and I hunted that first year, 10 days in the mountains, staying out there. Man, did we get humbled by the terrain real quick. And of course, I was in probably my best shape. I was either a specialist or an E5 in the Army. I was in really good shape. Man, that terrain humbled us. But getting one with a bow is Dustin did. Dustin got one with his bow. That was early season. But yeah, I'm definitely down to go back to Colorado and try and go after him again, especially with what I know now. It sucks that with the military, the worst part is you finally learn how to hunt something in that area and they rip you away from it when you finally figure it out. But it also gives a good opportunity to see the rest of the country. I've been lucky enough to be in Colorado, which is some of the best big game in the States. and then Missouri, which had some of the best duck hunting and fishing, crappie fishing. Whew. Now King's up there living next to mooses.
That's sweet.
Yeah, no kidding.
What's going to be the first big game you decide to go hunt in Alaska if you do decide?
So I've been debating. So Alaska, you can shoot 3 black bear a year, and it's pretty much no closed season. So if I were to go get my hunting license tomorrow, I could go shoot a black bear tomorrow in theory. Granted, they're all sleeping right now. So I've been debating on if I'm gonna bear hunt this spring because it's just something to do, waiting for all the lakes and rivers to kind of unthaw. But I've always kind of been like against, not really against. I've just never really been one to do like a predator hunt. But to shoot a black bear in Alaska would be pretty cool. Otherwise, honestly, I'm waiting for August and I'm gonna try to go for caribou and probably go through the same thing Lane went through and get extremely humbled by Alaska. Because I mean, this place is no joke. Like with him, I could walk house. I can see 2 different mountain ranges. So I think that will be, if I don't bear hunt, that will be it. Will be caribou in Alaska and trying to figure that out so we can get Lang up here and get him one, and Justin obviously come up and shoot one.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Are you gonna try to what do they call that? What's that big road in Alaska that
Oh, which big road? There's only like 4.
yeah, there's Hall Road or whatever. I've seen people, they go on this Hall Road and there's like these bow hunting corridors and then it opens up to rifle.
Oh yeah, that's actually just north of me.
Yeah.
It's not Hall. It's the Steese goes up that way in Ellicott Highway. But yeah, so within I got to remember I don't have anything in front of me, but I think it's 5 miles within the center line of the road, all the way out on each side. Within 5 miles is bow hunting only, and so you have to get past that 5 mile marker, and you can legally gun hunt. But going up the Steese Highway, as long as you're not standing on the road, like you can walk a foot into the ditch and you could legally shoot a caribou or a ptarmigan or moose or bear or anything.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'd love to go.
Well, I'll be here for a while, so you're always welcome. And you got a free place to stay.
depending how bad my wallet hurts from Africa next April will depend on if I go this next November.
Like 2023 November or 2024 November?
2023 and 2024.
I think we're gonna end up spending quite a bit of money on this one.
And yeah, well, the voodoo tag is $4,000, just the tag alone.
Yeah,
but it's also kind of one of those like once in a lifetime things. Like you guys are going for your once in a lifetime. I'm trying to go down to Kodiak and shoot an emperor goose, which is Kodiak's known for massive brown bears that hopefully won't eat me while I'm down there.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see Alaska. I can't wait. I've got so many bucket list things right now that I can't wait to start knocking them out.
Yeah, I before I left my mom's house and started driving here, I wrote down a whole bucket list and I put it on my fridge. So right now I got probably 17 different things on it, and I think I have 4 crossed off, but hopefully I can cross a couple of them off because they're pretty specific to Alaska alone, like the Harlequin, Barrow's Golden Eye, Sea Kodiak, Waka Glacier, like shit like that. But yeah, it's definitely one of those places where it blows your mind. Like when I was telling Lane, and I'll tell you as well, Justin, like I drove down to Wasilla, Anchorage area to go see a dude we were stationed with in Carson for Thanksgiving. And I didn't realize like how big Alaska was because everyone's always like, "Oh yeah, Texas can fit on the inside of it." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." To Wasilla, Alaska from Fairbanks, it took me 5 hours and 50 minutes to get down.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so to drive from my mom's house in Michigan to Lane's mom's house in Wisconsin when I went up for his wedding, it took me 9 hours. So for me to go from here to Anchorage is 3 hours less than what it took me to go from Michigan to Wisconsin.
Jeez.
Good Lord. That's
Yeah,
huge.
it's it's insane. And there's only two highways to get down that way. Either you take Parks and go around Denali, which was cool. I got to see Denali one day, or you go Richardson and you go to Valdez. Like the state is massive, and there's really no other roads outside of that unless you're in a town, or there's just like dirt two tracks or dirt roads skirting out throughout the state.
Well, looks like we're in the closing minutes of this. Got any final? If someone's looking into getting into archery, Justin, since I think that's probably your strong suit. What do you got for him? What's something that you could tell a young hunter when he's starting to look into archery?
Just go for it. I mean, you can watch as many videos as you want, but you're not gonna really learn anything until you're actually out there making the mistakes and learning from them. And I'm still pretty early in my bow career too, and I make mistakes all the time. So
Yeah, we
just
all do.
have fun with it and just learn from your mistakes. Really, get out there.
I'd agree. You're learning how to kill shit while you're. Oh boy, cut that out. I learn how to kill something and find something unless you're out there where they're at.
Right?
Can't get them on the couch.
Yep, can't get them on. They apparently don't stock venison at Walmart, so.
I wish.
Yeah, that was fun. We'll have to have Justin on again. So you still have to talk. I didn't want to dig into your Iowa hunt or anything like that because I like to, try to keep.
That crushed me emotionally.
Oh Christ. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Let me know if you need anything, Lang. And Justin, it was good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. Hopefully, Alaska in maybe a year or two here.